Woohoo, it works! You guys, it took me exactly 8 times to get the live stream to try to work today. What up with that? So, anywho, so yes, it's TGIF Friday, and thank God it's for Friday. Thank Godies. So, I am gonna be leaving around 11:30 to go to Olive Garden and have a wonderful birthday, late birthday lunch with my family. And kind of trying to think of, I haven't really been to Olive Garden in ages, so I don't really know what's even on their menu that's good anymore. So, um, who out there has been to Olive Garden within the last year who could say to me or give me some suggestions on what to order? The last time I went to Olive Garden was almost 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago actually. So I don't really even know what they have on their menu anymore. I used to like the clam pasta. I used to like the lasagna and a few of the ravioli, like the shrimp and lobster ravioli. That was kind of good. Um, are there any wine drinkers out there? Do any of you guys like wine? Anybody want to suggest like any type of wine I should try? Not too into like some of the hard drinks that they have, because they put a little too much drink like alcohol in some of them. Um, so that should be kind of fun. Um, and my mom's birthday is in exactly 3 days from now, so we're actually celebrating our birthdays together. She will be 69 actually today. I can't believe that. My aunt just turned 73, so a lot has changed. I remember when I was younger, we always had like really big parties, and we would kind of combine everybody's birthday because we had like 4 or 5 birthdays in September, so we would always have like a huge gathering. We'd have a huge bonfire, and we'd roast marshmallows, and my cousins and I would play basketball in the driveway. Um, and my cousins would stay the night, and we'd basically hang out and play Nintendo NES and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and later on it was other systems and stuff like that, and so it was always fun. We always had good food and family time, and um, in 1999 I went to my first college football game, Notre Dame versus Baylor, which was very, very fun. Um, and what was neat about it was that was my first experience with going to Notre Dame Stadium, and I was just amazed at how many people were going to the game. It was extremely overwhelming, um, but my God, it was one of the most fun experiences I ever had. Um, and I've been to a few games over there, and I like the environment. They've recently redone the stadium. It's fairly big now. They've redone a lot of the seating, and there's more activities for people. Um, and I've seen a lot of changes on that campus as far as traditions and things like that. Tailgating is always fun because you meet a lot of interesting people, and the food is really good because everybody knows how to cook a bratwurst and hamburgers and hot dogs, and that's always fun. And in fact, I might be going tomorrow actually for a tailgate party, so um, I think that should be kind of fun. So the leaves are starting to change. I can have that fall atmosphere going on here, so I can kind of feel what's going on around here. Um, and I finally figured out how to do the live streaming. I spent almost 2.5 years trying to figure out how to do it, and then honestly, J Wilkins 79, which go to his channel, shout out there. Um, he is very awesome. He really has helped me with this channel and developing, um, you know, what to do and what to talk about, and um, some good ideas for some shows and things like that. So in this video, we're gonna discuss a few different things. Um, are there any movies that are coming out this weekend that anybody's gonna be seeing? Um, is there any movies you guys want to see? I'm looking very forward to the Justice League movie. I think that that's gonna be a pretty good movie. Um, so yeah, what else? Baseball playoffs are going to start pretty soon. That should be kind of interesting as well. Go Cubbies. Um, I love my Cubs, so I'm really hoping that they're going to do well. Not really looking forward to them playing the Dodgers though, because that could be one of those series where it could go either way. The Dodgers have a good team this year. Um, got some good football games tomorrow. Um, and we could potentially have a few more upsets, so that could be kind of interesting for college football. Um, what do you guys think about the scandal that's going on in college basketball with a lot of the basically the agents and the well, can like Louisville? I mean, their coach is gone. Of course, I mean he did a fair amount of things that really were considered to be illegal, honestly, at that point in time. So, I mean, um, I don't know. I mean, he used to be the coach at Kentucky like many moons ago. And obviously in the NBA, he was the coach for the Celtics too. And he didn't really do a very good job with that situation either. So, I don't know. I'm not really feeling too bad for him because he kind of did this to himself. So, I mean, he kind of ruined his own basketball programs. Um, I kind of think it's going to be one of those things where there's going to be a like a huge volcano eruption to where it's going to really affect like every single college basketball school's program because they're going to start looking into scouts, um, and how they handle, recruiting and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I think it could be a situation to where we could end up seeing more and more as time goes on. Um, I know USC's already been in trouble, and a few other schools as well, not just Louisville. So, um, yeah, I mean, also look at what happened to, the whole Michigan situation, years ago with their basketball program when they got in trouble with the NCCA. So, I mean, it really depends on what's going to happen in that situation. But I feel like we're going to feel a domino effect here to where every single program is going to really affect their own doing. Um, so, I mean, but I have to be honest, I haven't necessarily really watched a whole lot of college basketball in many, many moons. So, Um, what else? Anybody know any more about the NHL situation with the Calgary Flames? I was reading something a few weeks ago about them possibly moving the team and renaming it to Quebec, Canada. And that would be a shame if that happens because the Flames are one of those teams that um, had a huge fan base in Calgary, and I kind of wonder what's going to happen with that city if that team is no longer there. Um, I'm not sure, but I think they have a Canadian football team too, but I'm not positive on that. Um, what do you guys think of the possibility of living in an environment where we might have to look at other entertainment because what happens if college basketball isn't here, or football? I mean, what else would people do basically to entertain themselves? um, so we could eventually be in a situation to where they might just suspend all college sports, which I hope that that doesn't happen, but um, I don't know. I mean, it could be a situation to where that might happen. Um, so I went through an old journal that I was writing in many moons ago, and I came up with a few ideas um, for a few different shows that I wanted to do maybe on the channel. Um, One of them was a all sports show where I basically just like review, um, the scores of games and discuss like, you know, what teams are good, what teams are bad, maybe trades, um, and maybe start doing like some more baseball playoff stuff. Um, I was thinking about maybe doing a review show about video games since, obviously I grew up playing a lot of video games and I know a lot about it. Um, yeah, I still would love to do the wrestling show. Is there anybody out there who would be interested in seeing the wrestling show back? I'd like to just keep doing it, but I don't really want to do it on my own though. I get kind of bored doing it on my own because I have nobody to like discuss anything with, and I just don't dig it. Um, the other thing I wanted to quickly talk about, speaking of that, was why are there so many people who some people don't even really watch wrestling? They just talk about like certain wrestlers that don't even wrestle anymore and they don't like them or they don't like who they are as a person, and it's kind of like what does that have to do with the product now? Like, I think the network is really great. I think that it's really developed a very interesting fan base. Um, I think that people need to be more open minded as far as um, where wrestling has gone and where it's going to be going in the future. I mean, other companies are trying to get into the streaming, and I think that that's a good thing. I think that they're trying to have some competition. Um, Although WWE is kind of interested in buying, uh, you know, Impact Wrestling's library and maybe even having some, new like New Japan stuff on there, and um, I know some people think that that would be bad for the market and stuff like that, but I don't really see it that way because um, those companies still would get money for letting their libraries um, be aired on the network. It's not like the company would be going out of business. They would just basically be making more money by letting the network air their product. Um, I think what people have to understand is that wrestling companies have to make money either way. Um, you can't just one day say, "Oh, we're gonna, just air our product on one, network or whatever." No, that's not how the product is supposed to be, put out there. It's supposed to be for, you know, every wrestling fan. Um, and I think that what Impact Wrestling has become of late, um, and I'm not going to say anything bad about the product. I think that it's pretty decent. It's just that the guys and gals down there are doing a great job with entertaining us. I don't think it's them at all. I think it's the upper management. And obviously, with Jarrett leaving and not being a part of that, it's really going to hurt them big time. I mean, I just think it's a huge mess. I mean, I've kind of enjoyed some of the other talent from like AAA and Lucha Underground to show up on Impact and produce great matches. I've enjoyed a lot of that stuff. Um, and I even think ROH is becoming much better too. They're developing their talent, and I think that that's great. That the wrestling industry is finally realizing that we don't want everything to be like PG wrestling. Um, I just wish that you know we'll just say some people in WWE would have more of an open mind and realize that that's what the fans want. We want, different wrestlers from different companies, coming in and wrestling one another. And that's why I like NXT because NXT has also developed their young talent and they've incorporated, old ROH wrestlers into their product. And I think that that's really helping them out as well. Um, I mean, like with Adam Cole being there, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. I mean, I'm trying to think here. Um, Leo Rush, I think, is the other guy. Um, and then the women's division, I feel like, in wrestling, for all the companies, I feel like are getting extremely good. The competition is amazing, honestly. Um, and I'm happy that we get diversity instead of the same females in every match. We're getting diversity, and that's good. I think that that's what should happen. Um, I mean, I watched the whole entire Mae Young Classic, and that tournament was a awesome experience to watch. I'm happy that WWE finally did something like that to focus on the women's wrestling. And we saw a lot of talent in that tournament. Um, if I had to rate that tournament, I would say 10. It's a 10. It's amazing. Every single match is great. I didn't see one bad match throughout that whole tournament. Um, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that there should just be a whole entire show dedicated to just women's wrestling, and then just air it on the network? I think that myself actually. I think that would make more sense. Is just focus one show on the women's wrestling, so that they can shine in their own way, and then just leave Monday Night Raw and SmackDown to just focus on the championships and the rivalries. Um, And I know some people don't think that they should bring back like a TV 14 show, but I totally disagree with that because now, if anything, now would be the perfect time, I think, to air a show like that on the network. Um, I think that you could have a whole new ECW product, and air it on the network once a week. Um, you have a young bunch of talent. You could start putting the talent in there, developing the product. Um, I mean, you could even, when like Mike Kanellis comes back and stuff like that, you could even have him in there. You could put people like Drew McIntyre. You could, oh God, I mean, you could take people like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Um, I mean, even Bobby Roode. Um, I mean, there's so many options. I mean, you could possibly just go like right down the list and just add them. Um, I even think AJ Styles would shine in a situation like that, because he knows how to work the crowd. All these wrestlers know how to work the crowd, and I think that they could have a perfect ECW now with all this talent if they would just go ahead and do it and do one show a month or something like that and air it on the network and have it be like a special or something. Um, I just thought that when they did the brand split, I don't know. I just felt like some of those trades and stuff made sense, and other stuff was like, no, I don't. No, that doesn't make any sense. Like Bray Wyatt on Raw right now is not good for business. He should be on SmackDown, where he was had that rivalry with Randy Orton. I felt like that really helped both of them out. Um, Harper and honestly, Rowan. I feel like without Wyatt, they're not really doing much with them, and I feel like they should bring back the Wyatt family. I mean, that's the Wyatt family was one of those factions for WWE that really worked with the crowd. Everybody seemed to like what they were doing, and um, I even feel like they should involve like the Bullet Club at some point in time. I mean, you have a lot of the older members in your company. Why are you not forming it? I mean, Adam Cole is there. I mean, AJ Styles is there. Gallows and Anderson are there. I mean, yeah, like what up with that? Like why don't you want to do that? Like that makes perfect sense to have the Bullet Club versus like the rest of the roster. That makes more sense. So, um, what else on the wrestling news? Oh, Ric Flair did a video a few weeks ago saying that he's recuperating very well. He's doing great. Happy for that. I love Ric Flair. I think that the wrestling world needs Ric Flair. Um, Charlotte came back recently. That's good for SmackDown too. Um, because we finally get that Natalia versus Charlotte match. I think that's going to be good. Kevin Owens versus Shane should be kind of interesting. Not really knowing what's going to happen in that, but and that UFC versus WWE has been talked for many many moons, and I'm really hoping that they're going to do it because I think it would be good for both companies, honestly. Um, and was I the only one that thought that the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight was one of the most boringest things that I've ever watched? Um, yeah, it was really boring, honestly. uh, yeah, I don't know. I almost fell asleep during trying to watch it. Um, I just don't think that they should have ever done it. I think it was more of a publicity thing. It wasn't really a physical fight. Um, yeah, I just don't think that they should be doing stuff like this at all anymore. It was really boring, honestly. Um, let me think here. What are you guys doing um, in the next few weeks here? Halloween is going to be coming up. Um, and what do you guys normally do before Halloween? Like, do you guys go to like parties? Do you decorate your houses? Like, what do you guys do? Um, I might stay on here for a few more minutes, but I might be jumping off and getting ready because I have to be out of here by 11. So, um, yeah, I'm happy that I'm able to do my streaming finally. And I love talking to everybody out there, hearing you guys' opinions and what you guys are up to. And um, so, yeah, again, I mean, in the future, I might be doing a few different shows. Again, like I said, sports show, one on like classic gaming, maybe some more reviews, like some TV shows, movies, um, maybe even a show about like favorite superheroes, uh, super villains, maybe. Um, I don't know. I'll think of some ideas maybe for some subjects. Maybe I'll have Jay Wilkins 79 or Sunglasses Man on. Uh, Dennis Goblin maybe, and maybe a Sunglasses Man and Dennis Goblin stream maybe. Actually, let's do that sometime. I'll talk to Sunglasses Man and see if he would be interested in doing a scary movie review to where he and I do a scary movie review together. Would you guys be interested in that? So, everybody have a wonderful day. I'm gonna get going here. I gotta go ready for lunchies and smoochy moochies.